I have the bottom piece all glued up and needed to do a little bit of epoxy repair. And I have this on top of the top board, and you can see this long split that I've filled with epoxy. But I'm going to set it up so that I cut this out. And you can see at the other end of the board, I also had a split that I did fill with epoxy, but again, I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And I've lined up the board on the bottom board on top of the top, and I'm going to use that to mark the length. That's going to be more accurate than using a tape measure where you might misread a scale. So just getting the length from the other board is the best way to ensure it's going to be exactly the same length. You can see here as I've lined up this square that this edge of the board is just dead square, and looks like it should give me a nice guide to cut the other board exactly the same length. Now when I marked these boards, I didn't use a pencil, but I used a marking knife that leaves a sharp depression to mark the line. And in order to keep my saw from kind of drifting off of this line, I'm going to build what's called a wall, taking a chisel and on the waist side of the board creating a little bit of a groove, or I should say sort of like a wedge shape on one side, so that as the saw is cutting along the board, it's guided to stay in that groove and at least keep it from jumping over on the good side of the board. Here's a little bit of a close-up of this in action, and let's do it from the right direction. I have put the top and bottom boards together, and at the far end I've gotten both ends flush to see how they turned out. You can see that there's a little bit of a difference, and it turns out to be just about a 1/16 of an inch. So over the course of 73 inches, am I going to obsess over a 1/16 of an inch? Yes, I am. Now I am satisfied.